Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 613 of the Juicebox Podcast. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Today on the podcast, I'll be speaking with Bella. Now, Bella has type 1 diabetes. She has 8 brothers and sisters. And, including her, 6 of them have type 1. I know what you're thinking. What? I was thinking that too. Please remember while you're listening to Bella's story that nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Please always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. Are you from the United States, have type 1 diabetes, or care for someone who does? Would you like to help people living with type 1? Would you like to do that in a way that takes fewer than 10 minutes? That is accomplishable from your phone, your iPad, and your sofa? If that sounds like something you're interested in, please go to t1dexchange.org/juicebox and join the registry. Fill out the quick survey. It's completely HIPAA compliant and anonymous. And just like that, you've helped the podcast and people living with type 1. I recorded that in one shot right up to the music. I was pretty impressed with myself. That's why I told you. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by Omnipod, makers of the Omnipod Dash and the Omnipod Promise, which I'll tell you about just a little later. To get started with the Omnipod, or to learn more, just go to omnipod.com/juicebox. Would you like to say hello to Dexcom? You can at dexcom.com/juicebox. Go find out about the Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitor. You will not be sorry. It's fantastic. Ocious. I made up a word there.
Hello, my name is Bella. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I'm 20 years old. I've been a type 1 diabetic for 5 years now. I'm fortunate enough to come from a family of 8 big kiddos, and 6 of us have type 1. So we've had the opportunity of sharing our journey with diabetes, and it's just been an awesome experience sharing our story and hearing the responses from it.
All right. So Bella, you have 7 other siblings. It's you.
Yes.
There's 8. Okay. So your mother made 8 children with her uterus and other lady parts?
Yes, she did.
Is she wrecked right now? Like, is she just sitting in a chair, like unable to stand up, or is she okay?
That's hilarious because when she tells people that, she gets the response all the time, like, wow, well, you look great. And she's like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Yeah. How old are your parents? Are they both live?
They're just around 50.
Whoa. Okay, stop. Are you calling me from Utah?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
Not Utah.
Hold on a second. Let me guess.
Close.
Close-ish? Super Catholic?
I mean, Christian, I'd say.
Okay. I mean, you're trying to build an army for the Lord? What's going on over there? Like, seriously.
I mean, that might be their intentions, honestly.
Did it work out?
I think we still have some work to do for sure.
Okay. Wow. Your parents are I'm 50. You saying that I'm a contemporary of your parents?
It sounds like it.
And they've raised, all right, well, let's be fair. Did they raise you or did they just like release you into the backyard after they made you? How did it?
I mean, I have to say it's got to be a mix of both. I mean, we all raised each other.
Yeah. Where are you in the pecking order?
What'd you say?
Where are you in the pecking order? You first, last, in the middle?
Oh, I'm dead middle, number 5.
Number 5. 5. And you're 20?
Yeah.
How old?
Mm-hmm. So I'm right in the awkward, like, I can hang out with my older siblings, but I can hang out with my little siblings, and it's great.
Oh my gosh. Well, how young is the youngest?
The youngest, she just turned 11.
And the oldest?
Just turned 30.
Hold on a second. You're frying my mind. So
I know.
So wait, I think if I'm doing this right, I take 30 and I subtract 11, and that's the span of time your mom made 8 children in? Is that right?
Yes.
In 19 years, she made 8 babies?
Yes.
I'm going to curse Bella. Hold on. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Seriously?
Yes. And like 2
Holy
of them are
shit.
Irish twins too. So they're like the 9 months apart. So literally one came out and right again, she was pregnant.
Yo, does your mom never heard of like hand stuff?
Right?
Yeah, like every once in a while she could be like, it's okay, Bill. I'm just going to, you stay there. I'm going to handle it. You know what I mean? Oh my
Right.
God.
Like, come on. I guess if the diabetes would have came a little sooner, maybe it would have slowed her down a little bit.
Yeah, it might have. I'd like to talk to her. I actually would like to talk to your mom.
Oh, yes. She is a superwoman herself.
All right. I might, if your mom could take 20 minutes of crass questioning about her sex life, I'd like to get to the part where when her kid started like making diabetes, like she was making babies, if she was like, oh my God. So you said something important a second ago, just because I'm kind of tracking people's genealogy a little bit. Irish? Did you say?
A little bit. Mostly bit. German
Mostly. Okay. All right.
I got the Irish with the freckles, and there's a lot of us with the freckles. But we're mostly, my dad's like all German.
You have curly hair?
Nope.
No, because you've got the raspy voice.
Yes. I always get that.
Yeah.
Like that's the one. And Sophia's starting to get it too, the little one.
Do you have the thyroid issue?
No, it's just the way, like, our voice, like, it's always been like that. Even as growing up as a kid, people would always say like, oh my gosh, do you have strep throat? I am overcoming a cold, so it's usually not this drastic.
Yeah. To generalize, you sound like the friend that gets us to steal a car.
Well, that cannot be a compliment. No, it was hilarious though. We were recording these videos for a company, and they wanted us to do a voiceover for it. And I did it just because I just had the video on my phone and was like, it'll be quick. And I sent it over, and she was like, no offense, but could we have someone else's voice on the video?
I don't know what the video was for. Like, vaguely, what kind of company is it?
It was just for a diabetes app, like, ad for our Instagram.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Hello, do you have diabetes?
No, that's what it sounded like. Cute little Sophia's face, and then hello, welcome. I guess that wasn't the vibe they wanted.
Like the sisters from The Simpsons. It's like, hey, Marge, and then the big suck on the cigarette, right? And it's
yeah.
Wow, that's funny. Okay, all right. Well, okay, who was diagnosed first?
So it all started with the second oldest, his name's Ben. He's 28. He got diagnosed when he was 6.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from there, it's just, his was just normal, T1D symptoms, like, that my mom just kind of said to the doctor, and the doctor was like, well, that sounds like diabetes. And then from there on, Maddie got diagnosed at 3, Nick got diagnosed at 4, Anna got diagnosed at 6, Sophia got diagnosed at 7, all kind of the same. My mom was just like, oh, they're peeing a lot there. Yep. Oh, this is it. Let's start checking their blood sugars. Oh, they're high. Let's take them in. Diabetic.
How old are the 2 that don't have diabetes?
So Chris is the oldest. He's 30 now, and he does not have type 1. So it's looking pretty good for him. And then Harrison is 15, and he as of right now does not have type 1, but my mom is not thinking that'll last very long.
Does he just, my questions are, does the young one just cower in a corner, like with a ticking clock behind him?
Right. Yes, he genuinely does. And like, my parents are I think we're also at this point hyper sensitive, hyperactive to this. We want to we're always like, check your blood sugars now. Like, let's just see. And he's like, no, get that away from me. He just wants no business in it. He's like, I want to wait until
it happens,
as long as I can. And that's kind of, I was the same way. I didn't get diagnosed until I was 15 years old. Which was super weird. You were
gonna make it? Like, what was the feeling like when you were growing up? You're like, it's gonna be me. It's not gonna. I'm gonna make it. Or...
It was. It was earth shattering to me. It honestly was, because I was petrified of needles. Because growing up, I had seen all my siblings being chased around with insulin needles. And I was like, this is the one thing. If I don't get diabetes, I will do anything. Like, I will do it all. But if I do, like, it'll be the end of me. Then I got it.
Yeah. I have a question about your oldest that doesn't have it. Like, does he?
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of being serious for a second. I was going to make a joke, but I want a serious answer, so I won't. Do you think that he feels like badly that he didn't get it so far?
I think that those feelings have started to come out a lot more just because we have been like sharing our story on social media and getting sent stuff from diabetic companies and getting that sort of recognition all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. But before that, I think we kind of never really noticed.
Yeah.
But now I would say for sure. And even Harrison, I would say, feels a little left out sometimes too.
It's crazy. It really is.
Just because it's like the majority, you know, it's all of us, except for just them two.
Do your parents have any autoimmune issues, or are there any?
My dad has psoriatic arthritis, but that's it. Not anything with my mom.
Gotcha. Anybody have Alzheimer's going back?
No, not that we know of.
Okay, interesting. Wow. So this all started around the 2000s, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
There. Okay, so management, that's still 20 some years ago. That's not terrific. Like, that's meters and needles, right? For your yeah. Okay. But does everybody manage similarly, or are there like 6 different insulin pumps and 6 different meters?
The 3 girls use the Tandem. I use an Omnipod, and then the boys use injections.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the reasoning with that is like sort of this weird, you know, the doctors suspected me and Nick had Modi for a long time, and we got tested, and it was false. It was negative or whatever.
Right.
And we're just on we're a lot more insulin sensitive. So I don't need this constant, you know, the only thing that motivated me to get a pump was just because I was too lazy to do injections.
Okay.
But even like with a continuous basal rating, it has to be so low because I'm still so insulin sensitive. My carb ratio is still 1 unit to 20 carbs.
Today.
And I've been, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is, like and compared to Anna, who's like, I want to say 1 unit to every 11 carbs, 10 carbs.
Are you super active?
I mean, I would not say any more than, I would say my sisters are more active than I am.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering if you were just very athletic or something like that.
Yeah, no. See, like, that's the weird part. I'm not like, I mean, Nick was very, like, he was a varsity track athlete, went to state for track, like very, very active all the time. So it kind of made sense for him. But me, I think it's more just being like just this littler girl and like just going to not eating right. Like, I think that played a role in it a lot in the beginning of college.
Okay.
And that's what they kind of suspected too. But here I am still with that 1 to 20 ratio.
Oh, no kidding. And you're still in school, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you away
I'm
at
a third
school?
year.
Or do you go from home?
I'm away. I'm like 3 hours away from home right now.
How did your parents afford that? Or did they look at all?
They don't.
Yeah. I would imagine you pull them all together at one time and you go, hey, listen, I don't know if you guys have figured this out or not, but you're paying for college yourself.
Right. See that? Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, you guys should probably do that.
Yeah. No kidding.
Not realizing, you know.
What are you going to college?
Yeah, I mean, they helped me out freshman year, my first year. But other than that, I'm just doing loans.
Yeah. You guys are all on your parents' insurance? Well, the older ones aren't, but most of them.
Yeah. I guess the last diabetic or the first diabetic just got moved off, but the rest of us are.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And he's had problems with that too, which is frustrating.
I have to ask a question that I'm not joking about. Like, are your parents like broke? Like, financially, did the diabetes like ruin them, or do they have are they making a decent living and it's not like a problem?
I would say they have good jobs.
Okay. All right. So it's
Yeah,
you're not all
we have
like
made it pretty good, I would say.
yeah, you're not fighting in the corner for the last clean needle or something like that.
No,
You guys,
no,
right.
no.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
lucky.
My dad and I'm so grateful for that too. That's another thing. My mom works in the medical field, and my dad is like a computer sciences engineer. But they're both so on top of like the insulin stuff. Like it's crazy. Like to think like I made some TikTok once saying we ran out. I had to restart my Dexcom because we were out of Dexcoms, and the comments were like, "Oh my gosh, how often do you?" We've like never run out of insulin or anything before, which is so crazy until COVID. Like it had never been a problem until like the first time we ever started to actually have to think about that was just when COVID started. And then we actually had been like, oh, okay, we're actually running low now before we get our next month's supply. But usually it'd been just, they're so on top of it.
Are you guys all on varying kinds of insulins?
No, we just all switched over to, we kind of had been, but now we're all on Novolog.
All right. So everyone, okay. How many vials of Novolog are in the refrigerator?
50. I wish I could just display a picture right now.
Yeah, is it 100? Is it 50?
Probably. Like, well, so we still have some insulin pens too. So we'll have like our great assortment of like probably 7 insulin pens in our opening of the fridge. And then we have these like 3D printed by my brother, like places you can put the vials. And we probably have like, there's 6 in those, and we probably have like 3 of those lined in there. So that's,
are they separated by
18.
person, or are they just in a big pile and you just pick out of it?
Big pile.
Yeah, that's what I would
Doesn't
do.
matter.
Bella, that's what I would do. Big pile. Like
yeah,
seriously, if that many people were using Novolog, I would just like put it, is it in like the deli drawer or wherever you put it, something like that?
It's in like we have like it open, you press a button and it like separates and opens the like milk kind of compartment for your fridge. And we have it kind of just like taken over that side of our fridge. We used to have our own separate fridge for all of it in the basement when we were all on Lantis too.
Yeah.
Because we'd have just like
double
the whole normal fridge full of all of it. Like it was insane.
It's really crazy.
Yeah. But then now with some of us moving out, we were able to condense a little bit.
How many children did your parents have when the first person was diagnosed?
So Ben was diagnosed let me do some math quick. Ben was diagnosed at 6. So they must have had 4.
Wow. And they still did 4 more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
I almost said something really inappropriate. I really, like a sentence popped in my head and I was like, well, I'm never going to say that on the podcast. Not even bleep it out in case somebody like could even figure out what I was thinking. But no kidding. All right. You've said a lot of crazy things already. I need to absorb them for a second. So let me just ask about you for a little while. What was it? I can't think about the whole brood at the moment. It's overwhelming.
I know, right?
But and somehow it's like a rule of comedy somehow. Like you've done something so many times, like it's hard not to be amused by it, even though like, you know what I mean? Like I've lost the horrifying aspect of the idea that 6 of your 8 siblings have type 1 diabetes. It feels like not comical. Do you know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was our whole idea with it. We were like, why do people not know this? Like we need more people to know.
Yeah, that's insane. Are you guys like turning it into like an influencer thing, or like how are you? Like,
yeah, that's kind of the direction we're planning on going with it. Yeah, right now we have like just our Instagram page and our TikTok page. And we started it during COVID, and it's been going great. I'm really proud of the work we've done. We're contracted and advertise and work for 3 companies now. And it's just, it's been a great experience. Just learning and being in the diabetic community socially it's great.
All right. I have to see, because I know you would think like Scott knows, I don't know. What's the Instagram account? I don't pay attention to social media. So
Krueger's plus T1D.
All right, hold on. So it's K-R
Ruegeger S.
S T1.
Yeah, Krueger's, and then plus PLUS T1D.
I typed it wrong. Hold on a second. Jeez.
I think we follow you.
I'm sure. Listen, if you don't, I'm insulted, first of all. And as I just said, I don't really use social media. And then I'm like, I'm insulted if you don't. Wait, hold on. You spell it again. I'll type as you talk.
Okay. KRUEGERS PLUS T1D.
Now I have it.
Okay.
All right. Hold up a second. All right. I have one here. It's well lit. You're in a park. There's a small girl flexing in front. Are you the girl on the right?
Wait, let me look.
Do you have a little red in your hair?
Maybe if you call that red. Oh no, I'm the left. I'm the littler one.
You're all the way on the left in that one.
Yes.
Oh, I see the Omnipod on your belly. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then that middle one, Soph. That's the youngest.
Oh, it's so crazy, Bella. Your voice won't let me think that that's you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, because you sound like you're 35 and you've been divorced twice, and you know
that's
some
about
things.
What my life kind of feels like.
Yeah, it feels like you know things because of your voice. Do you find? Let's be serious for a second. Do you find that people take you very seriously? Like when you talk, do people stop and listen? Is that something you'd be aware
not
of?
If they see 20? Me first.
Well, yeah.
It depends.
I have the same problem. Like you hear me here. I do as much business as I can over the phone because I have like a commanding like vocal presence. But in real life, I'm an average heighted, reasonably attractive, not attractive guy who should lose 20 pounds. And when you get in person, the gravitas is gone. Do you know what I'm saying by that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, and that's the same thing with me. I mean, you see me, I'm this tiny little girl.
Yeah.
What does she have to say?
If I saw you, I'd ask if you were lost. And
yes. You would say,
are you okay?
Where's your mom?
Yeah. Honey, where's your mother?
Yeah. Oh, I get that all the time. Like when I'm working at the bar where I work at.
Well, that's got to be a mind F for people. You work at a bar?
Yeah, I do.
Oh
I'm a bartender.
Dude,
in the summer, and then at school, I'm just a server.
No kidding. Okay, yeah, that all flips me out. That's crazy.
My favorite is you're allowed to serve alcohol?
Yeah, I wouldn't let you in the building. What do you think of that? Like if you had a boyfriend, it would make me upset.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. No, I mean, unless he was like this little wiry kid, and then I'd be like, all right, that's fine. Yeah. Like a starter boyfriend. You know what I mean?
A starter.
Yeah. They're not that like, they're less masculine. You know how you like young girls do it sometimes, right? They pick like kids who are like, they're not threatening at all. They're almost like girls, but with a mustache. And you know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not making that up.
No, that's for sure a thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Why do you all have diabetes? All right. So have you guys done any like testing? Have you all done like, it would be super interesting if you did TrialNet, for instance.
Yeah, I know. That's what we want to get into. It's something that we really, I mean, just since COVID is really when we've been talking about it. So it's like, when have we had the time? But we do want to do more. But the only testing, I know we got a certain testing done when we were younger. I was trying to get a hold of my mom before this to ask her about it, but we did get testing done. We went to Chicago for something as kids. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that really entailed. But then in addition to that, when I was 15, but right before I got diagnosed, I got my antibodies tested for diabetes. Mm-hmm. And the doctors called me, literally, I kid you not, as I'm sitting in like 3 months later or whatever, I'm sitting in the doctor's office getting my diagnosis for diabetes. And they call me and they're like, oh my gosh, like we have the best news ever. We got your antibody results. Like you have a 13% chance of getting diabetes. Like you're not going to get it.
You're like, you should try living in my house.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's funny. I'm here in the doctor's office with my diagnosis literally in hand.
Dude, if you guys got a hamster, it would get diabetes. What do you think of that?
Oh, do you want to hear something crazy? You're not going to believe this.
Go ahead.
Our dog has diabetes.
Of course he does. Is it a boy or a girl? I'm sorry.
It's a boy.
Yeah, of course he does. Yeah,
Yeah.
It might be floating in the air. I know it's not generally something we think of as communicable, but maybe in your house it is.
Honestly.
Wow. Your furniture might have type 1. Have you ever tested your sofa just to
Yeah, we might have to
poke it and see what's up? No kidding. Does your dog get insulin?
Yeah.
Dude, tell me your
Wait,
mom.
I think Lantis. Oh no, insulin. Lantis at night, insulin in the morning, I think.
Okay. All right. Listen. Tell me when did the dog get diabetes?
I want to say I this is like an ongoing joke, and I call my family like all the time, and I'm like, so he actually has diabetes. Like, this isn't like, and he does. Like, I watch my dad give him insulin shots all the time, but
Oh my God.
it just like happened. Like one day we just started checking his blood sugars, like when he was peeing a lot, and my dad was like, he has diabetes.
Did your parents, here's how I imagine this going down. We learn the dog has diabetes. Your parents walk into a private room, you hear screaming and banging, and then they come out with a smile on their face. Is that, I mean, I would be like, there's no way I can't. Like, what, why? Like, what would, oh my God. Do they feel cursed, do you think?
I would think they could, like, because I do.
Do you? Interesting.
Yeah, like even like our family's joke, which is just on my ongoing joke of all the bad shit that happens to us. It's just like beautiful chaos. That's what we constantly call it.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
Do you ever talk to your parents about how they feel? You're kind of young. You probably don't.
I mean, yes. I think I'm very close with my mom.
Okay.
Like we're all super, super close as a family. And I think she always gets a little emotional, like, especially when we're struggling a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, even I remember like, cause I got diagnosed the peak of teenage girl. So I was pissed.
Yeah.
And I think I took a lot of that out of my parents. And I think I didn't really think back to like collect on that until like one day when I was like a freshman in college and I was kind of trying to figure out my Omnipod. And I was just so frustrated. And I like called my mom one day and I was ranting about how like, you know, my Omnipod died and then the insulin, whatever, blah, blah, everything that goes wrong. And she just kind of like got really sad. And she was just like, you know, I could hear her crying on the other side of the line. And she's just like, if I could have it and none of you did, I would. If I could have diabetes so bad and none of you had it, I would do that every day. Like, and it makes me sad because I feel like she's in this point where she doesn't have it. She doesn't have any autoimmune diseases or any health problems, but here she is with 6 kids that she can't really do anything for except support.
I think the unknown part of diabetes may be the thing that I dislike the most. When you can't be certain of what the blood sugar is or how fast it's moving or if it's moving and what direction it's moving in. You know, when you just see that static number and you don't know what else goes with it, speed, direction. Well, the Dexcom G6 can help you with that. So why don't you say goodbye to that confusion and hello to Dexcom. Without finger sticks, the Dexcom G6 allows you to see your glucose readings right on your smart device or the receiver that you can get with the Dexcom. This is for Apple and iPhone. It offers completely customizable alerts and alarms, and you can share it with people. Up to 10, actually. Up to 10 people of your choosing, if you like, can also see your blood sugar. That means you could look at your sons or daughters, your husbands, your wives, or just have a friend watching your back. You can get started today with Dexcom at dexcom.com/juicebox. When you have the Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitoring system, diabetes treatments and diabetes management decisions become much more, in the background, maybe. I didn't want to say easier, but it's definitely better. With just a quick look at your device, you can find out what your blood sugar is. As I was saying that, I opened up my iPhone to see that my daughter's blood sugar is 83. I can actually look back with a swipe of my finger and see what it's been for the last 24 hours, the last 12 hours, the last 6 hours, the last 3 hours. In the last 3 hours, Arden's blood sugar has not been over 123, and it hasn't been under, looks like 83 is about it right now. Had she left the zone that we marked off, we would have gotten a little alert, which I did because I have Arden's high alert set at 120. So way back about 3 hours ago when she was 123, I saw that. We made a slight adjustment to her insulin. And now 3 hours later, nice and smooth, she's 83. Dexcom.com/juicebox. Do not wait another second. Go say hello to Dexcom. You know, I'm going to stop being so obtuse. Hello Dexcom is a free sample program that Dexcom has. When you go to that website, if you leave that site without requesting a Dexcom, this little pop-up is going to come up in front of you, and it's going to ask you if you'd like to request a sample. They call that sample case Hello Dexcom. It comes with everything you need to try Dexcom for 10 days. Terms and conditions apply, but if I was you, I'd head right now to dexcom.com/juicebox. The Omnipod tubeless insulin pump provides nonstop insulin delivery through a tubeless, waterproof insulin pump called a pod, all with no multiple daily injections. With the Omnipod, you're going to get 3 days, up to 72 hours of continuous insulin delivery and freedom with these innovative features. The Omnipod is wearable, meaning you can place the pod almost anywhere you'd normally inject. Omnipod is waterproof, so you can take that pod anywhere life takes you, like the swimming pool, the shower, or a bathtub. How about you want to go jump in a lake? You can go jump in a lake with an Omnipod on. And it's tangle proof, so you can forget about those tubes that traditional pumps have getting caught on doorknobs, kitchen cabinet drawers, everywhere that tubing gets caught. If you're wondering if the Omnipod is right for you, if you have type 1, type 2 diabetes, if you're a parent and a caregiver, or if you're a young adult or an adult using insulin, I think Omnipod might be right for you. And Omnipod has a promise they'd like to make you. If you're one of those people who's like, I don't want to do it now because I'm waiting for that next big thing from Omnipod, I'm going to wait a little longer. You don't have to wait, because with the Omnipod promise, Omnipod promises you that you can upgrade to the latest technology that they have as soon as you want, and it's available. As long as it's covered by your insurance, upgrade away, baby. Terms and conditions apply. Head over now to omnipod.com/juicebox to make yourself, familiar with everything that I'm talking about. See what you think, and then you can get started today at my link. Omnipod.com/juicebox. Dexcom.com/juicebox. Links in the show notes. Links at juiceboxpodcast.com. I've got a tiny bit more music here, so let me remind you, t1dexchange.org/juicebox. Go take the survey. And now the music's coming after me. Let's get back to Bella, shall we? Bella. Let's get back to Bella. Bella. I don't need everybody's personal details, okay? But are you all reasonably good at diabetes, or are there some of you that struggle and some of that you don't? Like, I'm trying to find out if there's a dichotomy where, your sister has a 5.3 A1C and your brother has a 7.9 A1C, or like, you know what I mean? Like, is it, or do you guys just have a system that you just use and it works for everybody?
I would say it's my parents' approach to it all. I'd say we range. I say there's a little bit of a range in all of us. We all are different. We all manage it kind of different. And I think my mom and my dad have kind of learned that we have to figure it out. As much as they're going to nag us and they're going to watch our sugar and they're going to do this and do that, they figured out that if they do that, that's just going to make us not want to do it.
Okay.
And I think now we all have a lot better relationships with diabetes. but I think it was a very long journey with a lot of struggle for everyone.
Well, I would imagine that it's easy to be listening to this, and it seems like a sitcom. You know what I mean? Like a poorly written sitcom, where like we'll give everyone diabetes, even the dog, and and it could be easy for people listening to sort of build a narrative in their head where you guys it's a harmonious thing and everybody's used to it. But the truth is it's the same for everybody. There's just 6 of you. Like, and by the same, I mean just like for the people listening. There's hard times and good times and sad times, and that's happening for 6 people. And then the other 2 who are probably just scared shitless that they're going to get diabetes at any second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have any other pets?
No, yeah.
Are there any other pets beside the dog?
We have another dog, too.
You should let it go.
I know.
Just open the door and let it run away.
We've tried, but he's crazy, too. He's got his own problems. Not diabetes, but probably close.
And no one has any other autoimmune issues?
I wouldn't even say that.
Oh, well, what would you say, Bella?
I've had a lot of health issues.
Okay.
I got diagnosed with uveitis, which is a very rare autoimmune disease.
Congratulations.
I don't know
I mean, yeah, when I have to Google it, you're always in trouble. Uveitis?
Right. No one knows what it is. It's like, I'll even Google it right now so I can get a better definition. But this is just, I got all these autoimmune diseases leading up to my diagnosis, basically. But uveitis is the most common type, is an inflammation of the iris. So it was the weirdest thing. Like, I just woke up and broke out in lesions on the left side of my face, and my pupil was dilated, and I was super sick, and I had a horrible headache. And then I started to not feel the left side of my face. So I went into the ER, and I had uveitis. And then
what I'm reading makes it feel like that it's something caused by something else, though. Like, do you have Crohn's?
No. Tested negative. Not celiacs, nothing. Like, I probably have been seen by 7 doctors in all different types of fields, like going through the diagnosis of like, tell me what's wrong with me, and no one knew.
Yo, Bella,
no one told me anything.
The causes listed here are so crazy. Like, there are a number of things that I can't pronounce. No, like,
right.
Let alone words I haven't seen before.
And the craziest thing is I got it again. And people, like, when I got it again, the doctor, my ophthalmologist, was so like, this never happened. Like, I've never seen this.
You ever had Lyme disease?
It's so rare to even get it in the beginning, but to get it again.
Yeah. Lyme disease? Never?
Nope, tested negative.
Dude, syphilis? That's like, isn't that something that happened in the 1800s? Did people still get syphilis?
Yeah, that's like something I remember from like like old shows.
Yeah, don't touch boys. Syphilis.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten cat poop? Toxoplasmic.
Oh, I did do that.
I did. So, Bella, you're funny. You've never had TB, Zika, the herpes?
No, not it. Like, I mean, I guess I don't think so. But I got tested for most of the stuff.
No kidding. And you don't have juvenile idiopathic arthritis?
No.
Ooh, here's a word I know from Grey's Anatomy. Sarcoidosis? Damn, now I'm saying it wrong.
Oh my gosh, that's where I knew syphilis from, because Alex gets it.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, seriously?
And he gave it to all the nurses. Are you kidding me?
Hold on a second. Alex Karev. Anyone who's laughing at me right now for knowing the last name of the character on Grey's Anatomy, I mean, did you think I was kidding when I said I knew stuff? I am not seeing anything with... Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll be damned. Look at you. All right, I'm not
It was one of the earlier episodes.
All right. I think syphilis, it makes people go blind. I think. Now I'm just talking about things I know from television. Hold on. Oh, by the way, syphilis is not funny. If anybody listening has it, I feel very badly. Okay, Bella. So you have that going on, and it's happened to you twice, but been cleared up twice. Do you start getting that feeling when things reoccur? You're like, oh yeah, like I'm a person with I'm going to have autoimmune problems. Like I'm going to get sick. Like, does it make you feel that way when you get something that crazy?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think that was my life. Senior year of high school. Sophomore to senior year, since it started, it just didn't end.
Yeah, you just feel like you're always sick.
Yeah. I mean, I think it ended when I went away to school and finally was like, I'm done with all the tests and the broken and the prodded. You guys aren't doing anything, and I'm just gonna figure my stuff out.
Yeah.
But I mean, because then I got the uveitis, I was fine, whatever. And then I got diabetes, and then I was fine, and then got super, super depressed, got uveitis again, and then I broke out in bruises like all over my body. They could not find a cause for that. I saw so many different doctors. No one could tell me, like, I wasn't anemic, wasn't celiac, wasn't anything. Finally, the doctor told me that she thought I wasn't eating enough vegetables. So I
That's
said,
when you know they've given up.
You're right.
Yeah. Have you tried broccoli?
Yeah. I was like, okay. Like, as I'm like waking up with bruises like up and down my neck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Brothers and sisters have other stuff? Not really.
Not really. The only thing I can really think of is like Nick, I know, has a little bit of like a heart problem.
Just a little touch of the heart?
Yeah, something going on there.
Something going on. Boy, that's how you know that everybody in the house has something going on, because you're just like, I don't know. My brother might have a thing with his heart. It's hard to recall. Wow.
It's like very, very minor.
No, it's a small heart thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all fine. Don't worry about it. Well, I mean, I do think that goes to the, what can happen to you when you're living in a situation like this all the time, where,
right.
Like, I imagine your family's like one way or the other. Either everyone panics every 5 seconds, or the house is on fire and you guys are just like, well, our show's almost over. Like, why don't we stay and watch it till the end? Like, are you guys super chill, or
that was a perfect explanation?
Yeah.
We're just kind of, I think we're all so used to this chaos that it doesn't even phase us anymore. But I wouldn't go as far to say as we're chill. We're all very, very opinionated, very strong personality. But I think we've kind of learned to handle it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's coping with humor and like, just taking it head on.
Is anybody do you guys ever do talk therapy or psychiatrist or anything like that?
We saw a family therapist for a little while, but it didn't last very long. But other than that, I know,
because you had to pay for 17, because you couldn't afford it, because you had to pay.
Yeah, right.
Would they charge them by the head?
We would go after we met our deductible, obviously, so then it was free.
You guys must.
We meet the deductible in like February.
I was gonna say you must meet your deductible on January 6th.
No, yeah, I think we did one year. Like, I think 1 year we hit it before January was over.
No, I would imagine. Arden's. There was a time before February she met her deductible 1 year. It was
right. See, so we must.
You guys
do
must
it that a lot.
Yeah, there must just be a bell that rings. Like after midnight, that ball drops, and then around 12:15, your mom must have an app on her phone. It's like, oh, we met our deductible already. This is lovely. Yeah. At least I'm drunk.
We constantly have like health stuff though. We're all like, someone's always breaking an arm or something. I swear.
I guess by the pure odds of it, right? With 8 people.
Right, yeah.
But not your mom. Your mom's super healthy.
Yeah. She's the lucky one.
Interesting. Boy, it is super interesting. Your story is so uncommon that I broke a rule to have you on the podcast. Like, I have a personal podcasting rule, and I broke it so that you could come on here. Like, I don't usually let it's you when you went through the questionnaire form, you had been on another podcast already. And I don't know which one. I'm not asking you. That's not the point. But normally that's a no for me. Like, just because I don't want to duplicate conversations.
That's so funny because I thought that would that you wanted people with experience. And that was my mindset.
No. Yeah, I don't
So
care.
I don't even know if what I was on was a podcast, to be honest.
You don't know if what you were on was a podcast?
Yes. I don't know really what it was. It was like a talk, but... And I was like, well, what do I do? And I called my dad, and my dad was like, well, it'll probably look good. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, tell your dad you got that backwards.
Well, I will.
Speaking of it, which if he'd have got a couple other things backwards, he might have 4 kids. But that's not the point, really. And if you got that joke, I love you. And I'd like to adopt you, and I think I could help you. I will raise you the rest of the 1 year until you're 21.
Okay. You have the rest of it. You just take the credit.
Yeah, that's all. I'll be like, look how well she did. It was really me at the end. I came in and tidied everything up. But no, seriously, I just don't want to duplicate conversations. And generally speaking, if you listen to this podcast, you realize that the people who come on are not people who have Instagrams or TikToks for the most part. They're just people. Like, they're really regular people. And
right.
You can even tell, I think, in an endearing way, in the first 10 minutes of most episodes, most people are nervous because this is not something that they're accustomed to doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't like it when people are very practiced and show up. It's not as much fun, and I don't think it's as listenable, like for my money, at least. But yeah, like I just didn't want, but I couldn't, I didn't know how to say no. Like 6 out of 8 of you, like, yes, please come on the podcast and explain all the crazy things that happen in your life. How did you reach out to me, or were you voted by the other 5 to come on?
Oh, I reached out to you. Well, I guess both. I reached out to you because I had listened to one of your podcasts, or like I'd seen someone posting all about it. Listen. I forget which one it was. I would have to look. But I listened to it and I was like, wait, this is like the #1 diabetes podcast, guys. So then it was like during COVID, and me and my dad like went through and were listening. And I was like, how insane would it be if we got on this? And my dad was like, well, might as well just try.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, haha, like thinking nothing would come of it. Right. Like I didn't know how this all worked. So then we just kind of sent the email, and then you responded, and I was like, guys, let's do it.
Well, because there's 6 of you.
Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's
and then it was kind of just between the girls right away.
Right.
And then they just were like, Bella, you do it.
Oh, no kidding. Well, listen, it's no less insane than the fact that your mom didn't start sleeping with a lacrosse stick after her 3rd baby, because I would have done that. I'd have been like, if your dad even like moved towards me after 3 kids, I would have like just punched him in the face.
Right.
Yeah. How many kids were in your bedroom growing up?
We switched a lot, but at one point I shared a room. There was 3 of us in a room. Yeah. But that was the most I ever got to.
Okay. How was
that?
But
I always shared a room until I had my own room senior year of high school for like a few months, which was awesome.
Fancy. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night to your parents in a bedroom treating a low blood sugar for a sibling?
Oh yeah, every night.
So do your parents, like, as your kids are growing up, my assumption is if you think about like one person who has type 1, right? And you look at the ebbs and flows of a week or a month going through, just regular diabetes stuff or like hormonal stuff, that kind of thing, growth hormones, having high blood sugars overnight. So even if one of their kids was like super stable, I mean, the odds of all of them being stable at the same time, like, is your mom a vampire? How does she sleep?
She doesn't, I swear. Like, she really doesn't.
And your dad?
She worked 3rd shift growing up, like all when we were kids. She always would work 3rd shift and then like get home and be like, okay, I'll make you breakfast. Let's get ready for school. Like, I swear the woman doesn't sleep.
It's possible she's on party drugs of some kind.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, they just keep her rolling. I really do think I want to talk to your mom.
I'm sure she's a lot like me. I get my personality from her.
Yeah, you tell her when we're done with this, if she's interested, she's on.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
She would love to. She has lots of funny stories.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to your dad. He's a sex addict. Well, you know what? That was sexist. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it was your mom coming over that side of the bed and your dad was like, no, not again.
They have a funny dynamic.
Oh, it might be. Wait, maybe I have it backwards?
I don't know. I don't want to think about it.
I
But
can't
maybe.
wait to ask your mom that question. Like now I'm picturing your dad like with his hands crossed over his, and he's like, no, I can't do it anymore. Not again. First of all, I'm still sore. And secondly, I can't afford this. You got to stop.
Oh my gosh. I really hope she listens to this.
Do you think they had as many children as they wanted? Or do you think they stopped because of the diabetes?
No. Yeah, my mom was pregnant with the 9th one.
Oh, wow.
But she actually had a miscarriage.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. But I think she had 8 siblings too. I mean, she always says they never talked about how many kids they wanted ever. It never was a time. I was like, maybe you should have.
Yeah. Hey, how about being responsible?
Yeah, right. She always says that they never really talked about it. But she loved having a big family growing up, and it just happened.
Yeah. I wonder if she loves it now. I know that's a hard thing for you to think about, but I'm going to ask her.
Yeah.
There's part of me that thinks your mom's going to get on here and just really get real quiet and go, I made a mistake.
I did the wrong thing.
I love my children, but I clearly have made a mistake. Oh my gosh. That is really crazy. Yeah. All right. Seriously, it's your job now to get her on my podcast. I'm leaving it up to you.
I'm committed to it. I'll make it happen.
Okay. Thank you. What about your life do I not understand, so I don't know to ask about? Like, is there something, like when you look at other people with diabetes and you see them online and you hear them talking about their lives, you hear people on here, is there something that you guys have that we don't know about, that doesn't exist if you're not in this specific situation?
Like, what do you mean? Something, just, I don't know, advice?
Yeah. I mean, is there something you know about the world that I don't know because you live with 6 type 1s? You know what I mean? Like, it might not be. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm trying to decide if you guys...
I would say that the biggest thing this has all taught me is that life isn't meant to go how it's planned, because we don't know how it's planned, and there isn't a plan, and there isn't a playbook, and I've learned that it comes at you as fast as it's gonna and as much as it wants, and life isn't really happening to you. You're just in life. And if you're gonna sit there and be like, well, this sucks, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened too, like, yeah. It's just, that's not how we're done living life like that. Yeah, it sucks. We have 8 kids, 6 of us have type 1 diabetes, but you know what? That happened, and that's our life, and it's great.
Yeah, Bella.
And I think that took us a very long time to learn, is that life isn't against us. Life isn't doing this to us. Life isn't punishing us. Like, it was just our luck. And maybe it's not good, but it doesn't mean that our life is going to forever be this battling of every bad thing that constantly happens to us, Yeah.
To me, it's just you the combination of your parents make babies with diabetes. It's just as
their genes.
That. Yeah.
Just their genetics.
Well, I think that's really thoughtful, because it does appear to me when I speak to people, and even in my own life and talking to people I know personally, excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, it might not be over. Bella. Oh, hold on. The heat's on in here. It's wintertime. I'm dry. I'm sorry. It occurs to me that everyone sort of, we lack the historical knowledge of the world when we're born, which is reasonable. You wouldn't come out knowing that, 400 years ago, something happened, 2000 years ago, something happened, that people have been living lives billions of times over and over again, forever and ever. But when you come out, it all feels so possible. And like, you're going to, like, there's no reason not to think you're not going to be the one, you know what I mean? Who just skate through life, and you're super handsome and money's falling out of the sky, and you can't decide which guy to go out with because you're so terrific and everyone that comes to you is so terrific, and life's going to be wonderful and you'll be super smart. probably be happy and probably own a home near a lake for the summertime and like all that stuff that feels like it's going to happen to, most people when they're born. And then when that doesn't happen and it's around health, it's super shocking. Like it's less shocking when you look in the mirror and you go, "Oh, I am not the most handsome guy I've ever met in my life." Like, all right, that's fine. And I guess I'm not going to get much taller than this. That's okay. And that guy's more athletic than me. And that's fine. I'm good at this. Like you start like melting into yourself a little bit, which is how it goes. But the health stuff is it just feels like it shouldn't happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just, my daughter gets diabetes and I think like, no, wait, this doesn't make sense. Like we, my wife and I, we grew up pretty broke and we were building the thing and we had a little boy and he was, cute and doing well and he wasn't perfect, but like he was pretty great and we had a crappy house and we were fixing it up and starting to make a little more money. And then you think, okay, and we had another baby and it was a girl and I go, wow, look, we have a boy and a girl. I'm not like your parents. So I was pretty done. I was like, wow, a boy and a girl, we're good, and then just, she has a birthday party one year and we're getting ready to go on vacation, which wasn't something you didn't grow up doing. We didn't have, we had finally made a little money and we were going to take our little kids on vacation. And then the next thing, a week later, I'm sitting in a hospital somewhere and there's like 1,000 tubes coming out of Arden. And I was like, wait, like what happened? Like I did all the things I was supposed to do. I'm a good person. I worked hard and I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and I made a family and now this. And it's unfathomable. You can't wrap your head around it. And
and I think that was just the perfect way to say it. Like that's exactly where we have been for so long as a family, in that mindset. Like on top of diabetes, like diabetes is just the surface of everything. Like it is genuinely just the surface of our chaos. And having to deal with everything we dealt with every day. And then on top of that, get this chronic illness. We were just like, we felt defeated for sure.
Yeah. Did a doctor do anything fun for your mom? Like create a little punch card, like at a sandwich shop? And then,
I should do that for her.
And every time she comes in,
I think doctors think she's insane.
Why?
Because she'll like for me, when I was going through everything right with my health conditions, she told every doctor she has type 1. I know she does. Like, I know this is all going to be type 1.
Yeah.
And they were like, nope. You're crazy. It's not genetic. Just because all your kids have it, ma'am, doesn't mean she's going to get it too. Like, and I don't know if she'd even want me to share this, but
well, that's definitely the stuff we should tell me. Go ahead.
Nick and Maddie got diagnosed when they were 3 and 4 years old, and she gave them a little bit of insulin and noticed they started to not really need it anymore and stopped giving them insulin.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to call social services on her.
Who did?
Like the doctors or something.
My God.
I haven't really gotten the whole story, but Nick and Maddie went into a honeymoon phase. So Maddie was diagnosed at 3, Nick was diagnosed at 4. Maddie didn't need insulin again until 11 or 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then Nick didn't need insulin again until he was 18 years old.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they were like calling my mom crazy, telling her like that they were like withholding care from them. But like my mom was just like, I have diabetics. I know that they don't need this insulin right now. And if I were to just decrease it and they could extend their honeymoon phase,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think my mom, that's another thing that she's really had to deal with is like, doctors never think she's educated enough to say anything.
That's crazy. I would think she would know. Do you guys all wear CGMs?
Yes.
Are they Libre or Dexcom? Which are you?
Dexcom.
Everyone has a Dexcom on.
Yes.
Your mom is following 6 people on Dexcom?
Yeah. The oldest diagnosed got kicked off our parents' insurance. So he's had a few problems getting Dexcom, but I know he just got some, so he should have them.
That's weird. Oh, wow. Is your mom a drinker? Does she, like, I'm not even kidding. Like, does she self-medicate or is she like, is she
no,
okay?
she drinks. every day, did you say?
Is she okay every day? No, is she okay?
I was like, not every day.
Do you ever look at your mom and think like my mom needs a hug?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She does.
Okay.
All the time.
I would. I'm just saying if I was her.
She's a very strong woman.
Yeah. I mean, she probably has all of your health in her head. And
and more.
Yeah, and I'm imagining she stares at all of you wondering what's going to happen next constantly.
Yeah. And I think even just like with all of us too, with each of us individually, it's like, oh yeah, here's our diabetes, but then, here's all this other stuff too that so it's like, yeah, here's like the half of her brain is like our diabetes, and then half of her other brain is everything else she has to worry about us. So it's just like,
yeah,
well, I don't think the woman ever thinks about herself.
You're still people too, right? Like she is, but like, even just taking her out of the equation for a second, like you wanted to go to a prom, probably, you probably dated, you probably played sports, you probably struggled in school, like all that stuff still happened.
Yeah.
And on top of that, all these kids have type 1 diabetes.
Right.
No kidding. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She has to come on the podcast. If she doesn't, I'm going to be disappointed personally.
I will make her. I'll make it happen.
I'm holding you responsible, actually. Oh my God. Okay. So Bella, is there anything we didn't talk about that we should have talked about?
Trying to think. Any last minute power? I wouldn't say, unless you have any questions that might spite something.
Yeah, I have to tell you, like, I don't like this has been a whirlwind for me. So I don't even like this is just usually the point in the conversation where I'm like, hey, did we miss anything? And make sure that we didn't. I'm not even saying we're done talking yet. I just want to make sure that I'm not like glossing over something that you think people should know. Like, what would you, let me ask it in a question. Hold on a second. Let my brain work for a second. Okay. Hold on a second. Let it turn back up again. I got lost in your mom's thing in my mind. Okay. Are any of your siblings talking about not having children?
Not that I know of.
Have you ever had that thought?
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely want to be a mom, and I think the hardest thing that with the thought of not having my own children, the only thing that I struggle with is just the idea of seeing my face in someone else. Like, I obviously am someone I love. Like, that's just something I've always wanted since I was a kid. But the idea of putting someone through what I've gone through willingly is also another thing. I don't know if that will sit as well.
Yeah.
But then I think a whole other thing, my mom always shoots down those thoughts. Type 1 is known to skip generations as well, which is true. So there is that chance that our kids won't have diabetes, but I guess that also puts in the thought that, well, then are their kids going to have diabetes? But I don't know. And I also think that another thing that we have to think about with that thought is the technology that we have right now for diabetes compared to the technology that we had even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So where are we going to be when I'm thinking about having kids? Like,
yeah.
So like, there'll be a cure.
Are you thinking of using Omnipod 5 when it's available? The algorithm?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Are any of your siblings looping? Or are they
they have all that on the Tandem IQ.
Yeah,
because they have the Tandem.
Okay. So they are doing Control IQ,
I don't
the ones that have the Tandem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Huh.
They love that setting.
Yeah, no kidding. You might like it too. We'll see.
I know.
Yeah, that's really great. Do you date?
Yes, I have a boyfriend.
Is that hard to, like, when you're dating, like, when do you say to somebody, I have diabetes?
That's a question I get so often. Mm-hmm. And I've been dating the same guy since I was a senior in high school.
Wow. 2
And
years?
I didn't really have to deal with that because when I got diagnosed, I was super open about it. Because like my whole family had it. So I was just like, yeah, I have diabetes. Woohoo. Like, this is funny. This is cool. Like, I'm just going to make a big, cool joke about this. And everybody's going to now know that I have diabetes. So it was a lot different for me because like I never have really had to deal with that. But I think now in college, like I've had to, like tell my roommates I have it and tell like new friends and stuff, which has kind of been an experience. But even yesterday I was talking to this guy at my work who said he was talking to this girl, and she texted him and they'd been talking for a while now. And she was like, I need to talk to you. Like, I need to tell you something serious. And the guy was freaking out thinking like she had an STD or something. Okay. And he goes over there and she tells him she has diabetes. And I guess the girl was so worked up, like crying, like so nervous, and telling him like, yeah, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but like I have diabetes. And I was like, that just made me so sad. I was like, that poor girl should not feel any shame. Yeah. Like she should not feel like she's telling this guy something that's earth shattering, mm-hmm. Which is like something I haven't really had to deal with it in all honesty, but
you don't feel that way.
I think no, I think that it's something that people should just be like, it's just like as if I don't even want to say like, if you were allergic, if you were gluten-free, like, yeah, like it's just, hey, by the way, if I'm seizing on the floor, I need sugar, like it's something the people you surround yourself with should know.
Right.
No, and I don't think it's something that people should be embarrassed about.
And if the person you're telling isn't up for it, I mean, that's good to know, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I mean, I think that speaks violently to their character as well. And no shame. If you don't want to date someone who has a chronic illness, that's your business.
Yeah.
But
let's not waste time.
Then that means, okay, clearly that person isn't cut out for you because you are this inhumane person who can deal with all this stuff. And if that's not their life, that's not their life. But you'll find someone who is.
I agree with you. Yeah, I really do. I was just wondering like what the perspective was.
Yeah, I think that's a big struggle though. I think that is a very big question in type 1 diet, like for diabetics, especially girls,
your story makes me want to stay alive another 50 years and keep making the podcast. Cause I want to come back and find like what happens to all of you after you get married and have your own kids and stuff like that.
Right.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Do you think you'll stay close to home or do you think you'll move away?
I always thought I'd move away.
Okay.
But I'm thinking I'll be home. I'm thinking I'll stay close.
You're gonna stay close. Can you tell me like what state you're in?
Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I love it. We love Wisconsin.
No kidding. Is it, you don't mind the cold?
I hate it, but I love the 4 seasons.
You hate the cold, but you love the 4 seasons?
Yeah.
I got you. My brother moved there a long time ago. He never came back.
Really?
Yeah.
See?
Well,
it's got a great community here.
Yeah, he does seem to really enjoy it, actually. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on and doing this. I appreciate you kind of like being the mouthpiece to kind of encapsulate everybody's generalized story. It's a lot. Even just to understand. Do you feel overwhelmed or do you feel okay?
I feel okay after everything. That seemed like I got a good amount out. I hope it wasn't too overwhelming. No. But I feel like I got a good summary for us.
Yeah. No, I do too, actually. I just wanted to make sure you were like, it's just a lot to recant. You know what I mean? Like, and you're not upset while you're talking about it. You do generally.
Yeah, no, upbeat. I mean, I think, and I'll emphasize it again, like diabetes is just the surface. So it's so easy for me to talk about because it's something that we've been able to handle and deal with versus other things in our lives that we've just kind of had to, let boil out itself and fix along the way. Diabetes is something that we have control over.
Do you almost not see it? Is it almost invisible because it's so present? Like, what do I, you know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
You know how you don't walk into your living room and like acknowledge that your sofa is there because it's there. And you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Is diabetes like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, I mean, even with that, with you saying that, I think that's where the problem with me caring for my diabetes almost comes in, because it's like, it's so normal. It's so, you know, so it's almost like I forget sometimes, like, oh, wait, I need to actually do this though.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm constantly talking about it, seeing it, whatever. It's just all comes so normal to me. Like, I don't see an insulin pen right away and think, oh, I probably need to give myself insulin.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you,
which has been hard.
Tell me about that. I'm sorry.
No, just getting diagnosed later.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because you had enough of a life before you really do remember not having type 1.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have has it ever happened that you're kind of ignoring your care and a sibling kind of comes in and picks you up? Or has it ever happened in reverse where you look over and somebody's like blood sugar's 220 and you're like, wow, they're not doing anything about it, and you go,
oh yes.
Yeah. Is like the support part?
Most of us share our Dexcoms with each other.
Okay.
So Maddie, the oldest sister, constantly like texts in our little group chat, like, Sophia, your blood sugar is high, Sophia this, Sophia that, like, always correcting our sugars. And like, whenever we're eating meals together, people are always like, oh, I didn't see you do this. I didn't see you give yourself insulin. Like, so that's really nice, I think.
Yeah. Do you sit at a meal and like announce out loud what you think the carbs are?
Sometimes yes and no. I think a lot of us are really, like, we used to not talk about it. Like, it used to be like, it used to almost be discreet. Like, we saw insulin everywhere. We knew everyone had diabetes, but we didn't really know much about it. No one really said anything. They just took their blood sugar, did their insulin. Now it's like, oh, like, let's let everybody like show your insulin pens. Let's take a picture for the Instagram story. Like, everybody at dinner. Like, so then it's like, then that's promoted the conversation of, oh, well, like, actually, how much are you dosing for this? Or like, so that's been nice.
Are you saying that sharing it with other people through social media has actually forced you guys to share it with each other?
Oh my gosh, yes. Huh. Like, we used to not, like, I genuinely, we used to just kind of live with it and not really let it bother us. Like, it wasn't, I don't know. And it just wasn't, it was normal. It was so normal that we didn't want to talk about it every day. Like, we were like, this is stupid. Like, whatever, just do it. Who cares?
Have you ever said,
but now it's like,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Now it's like,
yeah, no, I mean, now it's like, oh my gosh, your sugar's so good. Like, just like, it's just a lot more like of a supportive and environment. Like, cool. We have just really we've just started talking about it. I mean, that's really all it is.
Yeah. See, I imagined like you're sitting at a meal and you look over someone's shoulder and they're like, they've dialed up like 45 carbs in your head. You're like, that's not enough. And and then you kind of wait. Like, is there any sibling rivalry? Like, after a meal, if you're 120 and your sister's 170, is there any part of you that's like, I won?
Like, oh yes, constantly. Okay. Constantly, all the time. Like, it'll be like, oh well, my sugar's better than yours, or and then like, the worst is when we go get coffee together, because we all get different coffees and then we have to like carb count them or whatever, and then it's like, oh well, who got the most unhealthy coffee, and then whose blood sugar is going to be the worst from it, and who has to give themselves the most insulin for it. Like, it's all these like, oh, I hate that about that's what is toxic about diabetes. Yeah. And like, it's not talked about enough.
So the part of it that is a little, like, I guess just naturally competitive, you don't like that part. Like, it's not fun to you. It's
I think it's fun with sugars, like with our blood sugars, kind of to a certain point where it's like, we're just having fun with it. But then I think a lot of, like, especially a few people in my family, like, are a little bit more sensitive. So I think,
I see, the different personalities.
Like, the carb counting can get a little sticky.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So different personalities in the same situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, that makes sense.
And I think that's the whole, problem with diabetes in general is, like, especially with, like eating disorders with girls who get type 1 too. It's just like the whole carb counting, I think, brings in this bad connotation that needs just to be so positive. There's nothing bad about it, but
for some people,
that's just a whole nother thing.
Difficult. Yeah. All right, Bella, I had a really good time talking to you. I hope you enjoyed this.
I did.
Good, because it's kind of crazy. And I appreciate you sharing everything with me very much. You guys, will you be able to get home for Thanksgiving? Or you?
Yes, I'm going to head back today.
Yeah.
Just this morning, right after.
My son surprised us last night. We expected him today, and I walked downstairs last night, and he was just standing in the foyer. I was like, "Oh my God!" I cursed. I walked downstairs, and it shocked me. I said, "What the f- are you doing here?" and he's like, "What?" I was like, "I thought you were coming home tomorrow." And I don't know. It was such a nice surprise.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, I bailed on all my plans last night and just sat in the living room with him and hung out with him. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm so excited for. Just to like go home and sit and just talk for hours.
Well, when you get home, tell everybody that I said I think it's a really amazing story, and no kidding. Like, I tell your mom to email me.
I will.
Yeah, it's really
This was a great opportunity. Thank you for letting me come on here.
I really appreciate your time. I really do. First, let's thank Bella for coming on the show and sharing her family story. And then let's thank Dexcom, makers of the Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitor. And don't forget about that Hello Dexcom program, where you can try the Dexcom G6, for like 10 days. Go check it out. And that Omnipod promise. You know what I didn't tell you about during the Omnipod ad today? You may be eligible for a free 30-day trial of the Omnipod Dash. Now you're going to go look. Omnipod.com/juicebox. Don't forget to take that T1D Exchange survey. T1dexchange.org/juicebox. I would like to thank you very much for listening and remind you that I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. The Juicebox Podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Waka waka waka. Goodbye. Hey now. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. Do not forget. Stay out of debt. I just thought I'd throw a tiny bit of Hamlet in there for you at the end. Hark! What light 3 under window breaks? Actually, I think that's Romeo and Juliet, right? Yeah, Hamlet's the one with the guy that screws over the guy, right? Doesn't he stab him or something? Stab, stab, stab. What's everybody stabbing everybody for? All right, I gotta go. This has gotten off the trail. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty far from where we started. In other words, I think something's rotten in the state of Denmark. Before I go, let me just say, if this is your first episode, please subscribe and follow in a podcast app. And if the last couple of seconds didn't make you want to listen because you think I might be unstable, I understand.